Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening. This is Anna lately. Let me take this off. And I'm here with a couple that, I always I say this. I truly believe that we have a spiritual family and that we come to this world and we meet people from that family. And those two here are two people that really, I truly believe I met them in another life because the connection is so strong. And this man over here that I call my darling,
Now he will smile.
yes, he really changed completely the image of the samba. And why I say that, guys? I say that because Tyler Baker came in 2017 for the first International Samba Congress, and he told me that he wanted to give me a gift for my birthday. And he did some pictures, and it was the same year that my mother has just passed away. And while I was doing those pictures, I was really like holding up a lot of feelings, but I could see the feelings through the pictures. Tyler and Cecilia, my love. Cecilia is is the my harbor for the International Samba Congress. So, how you guys doing? Yeah.
We do. Right?
International Samba Congress. That's
Yes. Yeah. So, Tyler, how how you know how can you do this? How can you just you're so gifted? How can you allow us? I don't know. Each picture that I see from you is like it seems like I'm there. How is that for you? How did you find photography? How when was that?
Initially, if I go back, say, 15 years or so, I was trying to learn to paint and to draw, and was not particularly good at it. Um, and it was suggested to me that maybe that the camera was better for me than the brush. But I had studied the form and composition of the masters and trying to learn and understand the painting techniques. And I was photographing lots of sport, lots of landscapes, lots of what we would call documentary type of work. And then in 2015, I attended a workshop in California that really ignited an interest in portraiture and of taking pictures of things that talk back to you. Using some of those techniques of people like Caravaggio, who I admire greatly, and some of his techniques to tell personal stories. And so, that's really now the focus is the portraiture, but not portraiture in the sense of it being staged, but a very sort of authentic form of expression of capturing something about somebody that's truly an essence of them.
He forgot to say that he met me as well, and that was fundamental.
That's
So
really true.
I
And
will say,
Cecilia, how who are you? Who are you, Cecilia?
who am I? Oh my gosh. I'm a crazy Argentinian, crazy for samba and dance and art and artist and community. And when Tyler started to do the portraiture, that's when we met. And some people may know I'm a widow, but then I found love again. But when we met, I was just in the samba here in Edmonton with Amanda Ferreira in Samba Edmonton, and so I was just starting to get so excited about dance as healing and samba as healing. And so I think that intersection of Tyler starting to do portraiture and me discovering the samba community and you and everything kind of came together. And I just love the pictures he does of everyone, but particularly of you. They are very, yeah, they are the essence. I feel, they are very special images of you in particular that he has able to do with you.
Thank you. But Tyler, who are you? Where are you from?
Originally, I grew up in New Zealand. I moved to Canada in 2005.
Oh, okay. So you're from New Zealand?
New Zealand originally, yeah.
Oh, wow. But
Anna, when we met online, because we did meet online, his name was Edmonton Kiwi, because we live in like
darling. Darling.
Photography. It's everything. You get the photography, the personal.
True. Just like a picture.
He's blushing. I love it.
So, but this love for samba, what is that? Not only for samba, because I'm seeing a lot of the pictures, Tyler, that you're doing with the other artists also. I just saw one with the flamenco dancer that I was like, like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. And for me, I'm not a person like a model or anything. And every picture that I saw that you took from me, I'm like, I wanted this, I wanted that, I wanted this, I wanted that. So how is that for you? Because it shows a lot of passion.
Well, very much, and it's also founded on a genuine interest in the people's stories. And when I was first introduced to samba, I was fascinated by the story behind it. Obviously, I was fascinated by the way that it was a form of expression. It was a form of storytelling of its own. But I was also, to be honest, a little disappointed that when I saw the great photographers, the agency photographers, Getty and everybody else, and the work that they were doing, the pictures were captioned a young and beautiful dancer in samba costume, or a beautiful couple doing samba, or something like that, and it was very.
It was offensive.
It was overly simplistic.
Oh, it's dark over here. Okay. So I'm feeling a little bit dark. Oh, over here. Good. Okay.
And it was overly simplistic, and I thought I can probably do a little better than that. And I think you'll see there's an evolution in the images as my understanding of the art has increased. I've had much more colors that I can incorporate into the storytelling.
And I will add to that, because the first time we went to Rio, we just went and we didn't really know many people. So we were looking at the carnival from this up there, and he had this camera and took these beautiful pictures. And I wanted to tag the artists that are there in the Sapucaí. And so I started to look, as he said, get like all these images, and people had no names on those images. We're talking about, these amazing artists that everyone knows in Brazil, yet the images that we receive in North America said, mulata dancing samba or whatever. Like, people have no names. So for
identity,
for us, it's really important that these are pictures not of people, that collaborations he does with artists. We want to position people as artists with names and voices and what they want to express.
Okay, so just a minute, that I have to really put the people in Brazil aware what we're talking about, okay? So, gente, olha só, bom dia, a gente está aqui com o Tyler Baker e com a Cacília Ferreira, e eles dois contribuem muito para o mundo do samba, e na maneira que eles contribuem é a seguinte: o Tyler é um fotógrafo, né? A Cacília praticamente é assim uma base fundamental para o International Samba Congress. Ela que faz, sabe, assim, toda aquela, o Instagram e o Facebook, era ela que está fazendo, né, por muito tempo. Mas não só isso, eles doam o tempo deles, e não só isso, gente. Depois que o Tyler entrou na nossa vida, o Tyler mudou a imagem do samba. E por que eu digo isso? Eu digo isso que muitas vezes o artista não tem como ter um portfólio, um álbum, né, muito grande de fotos profissionais. E o Tyler, ele, desde o primeiro International Samba Congress, o Tyler veio aqui em Los Angeles, e era meu aniversário, e ele falou, eu quero fazer fotos suas, né, vestida de malandro. E ele me perguntava a história do malandro, essas coisas todas. E aí, a minha mãe tinha falecido um mês antes, eu estava muito triste, mas, assim, não querendo, né, querendo ter a oportunidade de fazer as fotos, por dentro, assim, eu estava muito triste. E é engraçado que tem foto que eu posso ver a tristeza, sabe? Porque ele era assim, ele não é só uma foto, ele faz muito mais. Ele realmente traz assim o espírito da coisa. Então, eu estou perguntando, ele é de Nova Zelândia, ele mora no Canadá desde 2005, é casado com a nossa linda Cacília, que é da Argentina, que é apaixonada pelo samba também, pela cura do samba. Então, assim, é muito lindo o trabalho deles. E todas as pessoas que já chegaram aqui no International Samba Congress, eles tendo tempo, eles fazem sempre as fotos. E sempre dão. Entende? Então, quer dizer, muito legal. Ó, a Corey, é Corey, né? Está dizendo aqui, you have an evolutionary love that shares so much with the world and is so inspiring. I agree with that.
Vivian!
Eles arrasam, you guys rock.
That's the Vivian!
Vivian, que linda! Então, é assim, eu falo que o Tyler mudou a imagem do samba, porque realmente as fotos são maravilhosas, é de uma consciência, é de um sentimento muito lindo. So, but can I say that this started with us with the samba, or you're doing pictures before, Tyler, with other artists? Because now I'm seeing Cuban, I'm seeing Africans, I'm seeing everybody on your portfolio.
The real dive into artists pretty much did start with the samba. Particularly, you know, we still did a lot of portraiture, but really in terms of evolving a series of images of an art form, you know. And if you remember back to that first set of pictures that we did with you at your birthday, you know, we sort of hit the ground running, didn't we?
Yes.
And you know, the Malandro character is fascinating to me as a subject and as a metaphor for so many aspects of humanity and of the human experience.
Wow.
And then also through meeting you and then going to the International Samba Congress, Brazil Samba Congress, we started to see that many artists that are so amazing, as you said, didn't really have pictures. So it kind of started organically. Really, the inspiration was the Samba Congresses, both in Brazil and the International Samba Congress. I remember, like, we will be in the middle of the Congress and Tyler and I will say to Preta, come with us, and we will do some pictures. Like, it just came so naturally and organically. And then here in Edmonton, we also started to see that other artists also don't have images. And so it's just really that idea that we want to support people with high quality images. And so that evolve and musicians and now
that's amazing.
And to what is now the mission of the nonprofit that we established. Yeah.
That's amazing. And that was the reason you opened up the Tyler Baker Photography nonprofit organization?
It was ultimately, yeah.
Because we wanted people to we wanted to be transparent and to people to understand what we were about. This is not, Tyler always say to me, he doesn't really want to compete with photographers that are earning a living. Like, this is something different. This is something of trying to, he's an artist, I believe, you know.
And I can't
Whoa.
I can't sing. You know, I have to find some other way to contribute, given that I can't dance, can't sing, can't do all the usual things that people can do.
So the nonprofit is really a great avenue to really clarify what are our values, what are our vision, what are we trying to do, make a difference. And so we have our own criteria, obviously. It's about not just artists, but also cultural diversity that is really important for us.
Yes.
And that's why you will see that many of his portfolio is really artists that are, expanding the paradigm, the diversity. So we are always very excited to be able to do that.
So, Tyler, you're not just photographer?
No, he's the cook.
No, I manage occupational health and safety on large industrial projects and for multinational organizations. That's my day job. This is my free time, if you want to call it that, activity, or my other side of the brain work.
Wow, this is amazing. Wow. Really, that's blow my mind right now. But Cecilia, you do something else, yeah?
Yeah, I work for the government of Alberta, and I work for Community and Social Services Ministry, the social services one, and I manage policy projects. So we are much more, in our in our jobs is much more formalized, if you wish.
I always get mixed up, which is left brain and right brain, but we both do the other side of the brain at work and the creative side.
The creative side is
in our own time.
But
oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is amazing.
Like you, Anna, because you also have another life.
Yeah. Well, but for me, what I think is like samba comes like very naturally because it was something that I was born in. But it's amazing to see the love and the passion, of you guys, because it's like for me, it's like all the time I'm like, he's here and he is with his camera, and I know we're gonna have a good material. So just to let you know, we separate some pictures to show you. When I send the pictures to the Invictus, and Gustavo to show, we're gonna show some pictures of you right now.
Okay.
Anne never came to International Sabacon. She said, I need to be there the next time. The energy that I'm seeing those pictures over here, I need to go there. So, Gustavo, can you show some pictures of Tyler in the International Samba Congress, please? Você pode mostrar, Gustavo, mais fotos? Gente, enquanto o Gustavo está procurando aqui, é muito interessante, sabe? Porque o Tyler e a Cecília, eles têm um amor muito profundo. E eu perguntei ao Tyler se eles começaram... Olha isso, Rodrigo, Marques e a Preta. Isso aqui foi o ano passado.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was last year.
Yeah.
Look, Carla Moreno. And that's amazing.
Here's something interesting, Anna. I don't know if I told you the story that came out of the
Look
class.
at this picture. Yes, what it is, Tyler? You can say.
I don't know who it was that I had the conversation with, but I had a conversation with one of the teachers, and I said, I love the way that you move. Every beat is a frame for me. And it was meant as a compliment. And the teacher who I talked to, I just can't remember who it was, said to the students in part of the class, Tyler's standing down there. Remember that every beat is a frame. And it was a wonderful teaching tool for them in terms of the tightness of their movement, the crispness of their movement, to think that, am I in position on every beat as the drum is playing and as I'm moving through the sequence?
Wow, that's amazing. Look, this, you really can capture the emotion. Look, Cecilia with the really short hair.
That deal, look at this, looking like
yes,
Angela.
Rosangela.
Yeah. And it gives me a unique perspective. I get to stand right next to the drummers. I get to hear the rhythm in a different way. I get to listen to what the teachers are saying and learn without having to think about what my hands are doing or my feet are doing. It's a
Yes.
really interesting way for me to learn about the dance, even if I can't do it.
Look at this. This is amazing pictures.
Wow.
This is amazing. It's you know, it's so eu estava falando para eles que a Anne, quando viu essas fotos, a Anne disse: eu quero estar no Brasil, no internet do Samba Congress com essa energia toda. So, but Tyler, are you very demanding? Like when you look the Katrina couple's beautiful images, they are. When you are you very demanding? Are you like all the time, like, you know, how can I say that? You satisfied with your pictures, or all the time like, no, this is not good. No.
I mean, I throw. I'll answer the question in two parts. One, if I'm doing a portrait session, it's very conversational, and so I've taken some time, and we have an understanding of what it is that we're trying to say. In the old days of shooting film, you had 24 or 36 exposures on a roll, and you were quite tight on what you were doing and quite strict. With digital, I can shoot throwaways to encourage the model to relax and move a little bit. It's not very tight, and that we've only got one frame to do it. It's almost a running start, if you will. So in that case, I'm prepared to throw away 10 or 12 frames to get the one that we were intending to, and then we move on to something else. In the more documentary stuff, like what we're doing in the congresses, I don't have the same control over the environment that I have in a studio. But I'm wandering around knowing that I've got 8 hours or I've got 45 minutes of a class, and I don't need to take 1,000 pictures. I need to maybe take 5 or 6 that tell a story of the class, that tell a story of what the teacher is trying to communicate by the class.
Wow.
And I'm wandering around and I'm looking for angles or lines or something that reflects what it is that the teacher is trying to say. And again, a lot of them will be throwaway, because as I'm going through the class and understanding what the teacher's saying, I realize that what I thought the teacher was saying isn't what the teacher was saying. And so even though they might be nice images, they're not necessarily the ones that we would keep.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Eu perguntei ao Tyler agora, gente, se ele é muito, assim, se ele realmente, assim, fica olhando as fotos, como é que ele faz as escolhas, né? E se ele fica, não, essa não tá boa, essa não tá boa. E ele disse que, sabe, a minha pergunta tinha duas maneiras de responder, né? Uma, que ele realmente, assim, quando ele está no estúdio, quando ele está usando mais a câmera tradicional, você tem um tipo de restrição, né? Mas com essa era da câmera digital, não. Porém, ele gosta muito de entender a história, de saber o que a pessoa quer realmente passar. Então, quando ele está nos congressos, ele não precisa tirar 1000 fotos, ele pode tirar 5 fotos, mas que estão sempre ligadas à história do que o professor está ensinando. Então, às vezes, quando ele vê a imagem pode estar linda, mas não é o que o professor quer dizer. Então, ele se sente, né, na obrigação de fazer realmente o que é a história daquela fotografia. This is so beautiful.
The other thing,
one more thing, yeah, Cartier-Bresson, the iconic French photographer, used to call them a decisive moment, and that's very much what I'm looking for. I'm not sure exactly how it translates, but that's very much what that's very much what we're looking for. A decisive moment. You know, people say a picture tells us 1,000 stories, 1,000 words. Not every picture does, but a good one.
Well, Amanda Alvorada já colocou aqui, o photoshoot with Tyler is like a counseling session, because he's going to pull on every emotion in your art, whether you were aware of it or not. He's amazing. Eu acredito. Amanda, beijo para você também, meu amor. I truly believe this too.
I wanted to say, and building on what Amanda said, is that when we do the collaborations with an artist, for Tyler, it's really important. We don't post pictures if the artist is not comfortable with the picture. It doesn't matter, because many times people, are hard on themselves. I think every
Yes.
picture is amazing, and
Yes.
Tyler is a bit more selective because he's a photographer. But we don't post things if people are not comfortable. To me,
Of
that's really
course.
important. Of the nonprofit, we try to empower the artists as much as we can, and that is a true collaboration.
But Cecilia, from our conversation also, you not just do the picture. You had already an opera in your backyard. You have a
It's just
Of
becoming
course.
a whole,
opera. She had an opera in her backyard
and hip hop.
And hip hop.
and hip hop.
But
How do you guys do that?
that's an interesting point, Anna. Because we're in an environment at the moment where we have to find new and creative ways of doing things. The fact
Yes.
that you're doing classes online and everything else, and you know the work has to continue and the support has to continue, but we just have to find creative and
Yes.
unique ways of doing it.
And the two concerts that we did in our backyard, the artists approach us and say, "Can we do?" Because we have a really big backyard. We had already thought about it, but then we get busy with our work. But the artists came and asked, and we said, "Of course, you can do it in our house." And I think it's because we are really worried that through the COVID, like, we need to make sure that artists survive this. So then when this is over, we are just going to come stronger and just be even more creative. But
Kamala is saying, beijos, meus amigos. Tyler creates such of wonder works of art with so much soul, and Cecilia is just an incredible force of nature. So blessed to have these amazing humans in my life. Yes, me too, me too. This is amazing. Vocês são. Uh, uh, eu estava falando que a Cecília, eles não só fazem fotografia, gente. Esse ano, com essa coisa da Covid aí, do coronavírus, eles já tiveram uma ópera no quintal deles e tiveram também hip hop, um show de hip hop. Então, assim, eles estão sempre procurando ajudar os artistas. É uma coisa assim de louco. E uma pessoa fez uma observação aqui que o Tyler realmente é um artista, mas a Cecília também ela tem uma energia, gente, que é assim. I know that Tyler is the artist, but Cecilia with her energy is like,
Manager.
oh my gosh. Sometimes, Tyler, I talk to Cecilia every day. And sometimes, like, hi, Cecilia, I think I'm going to give up. I don't, and she's like, no, remember this. So it's such of a booster of energy all the time. How is that with two of you guys? Because it seems Tyler is a little bit more.
It's tiring. That's why I've got grey.
oh,
I've got grey hair.
sometimes he's Mr. Grumpy. People who have done photo shoots know that, but he comes around. I think that when we met, some people thought they're not gonna work together because we have very strong personalities, but somehow it works. I just think that we are so passionate about this mission, if you wish, this calling, that it really works. And I think that when you sometimes, of course, it gets tiring to try to do all of this, but I do believe that you, Anna, are really building the legacy of samba and are kind of gathering the people to sustain that. So we are really happy to contribute to that, because I think
yeah, and I think also it's because I think like this group of people that are involved in all this movement and everything, we come from a truth. Yeah, we come from something that is a true love. So, and I can see this. I can see in Tyler's pictures. I can see, it's not just like, okay, I'm here, let me take a picture. It's you can see the art in the art.
it's an engagement that I found really particularly as a woman, is really important to me because he takes pictures of every artist, but there is so many images of women. And for me, it's very important that those images are empowering. Because many
Yes.
of the, like I come from South America too, from Argentina.
Yes.
Many of these things, the imagery produced by photographers is disempowering. And so I'm really proud of what he does. And when I was a child in Argentina, we always in Argentina look at the carnival every year. And so the carnival was always, in my heart. And when I came, I never imagined in Alberta I was going to learn samba, but then I think there is something in samba that resonates with me.
I think it
Oh, that's
resonates
good.
with everybody. I think
Exactly.
there is something about the connection to those particular rhythms. There is something about that call and response with a drum that I think I see in the students. It connects with a very, very deep sense of humanity.
Oh, wow.
and not with something in their short term, but something 100,000 years old.
Exactly.
There is a uniquely human experience that I see the students having.
And I think that that's where the International Samba Congress and Tyler Baker Photography, that collaboration has been really beautiful because it's really understanding or bringing to the forefront the roots of samba. Like at the beginning, of course, the feathers, the costume, but that's not what keeps me going. When I go to samba, it's not about that anymore. It's something, as you always say, healing, or it's just that energy, like that
Yeah,
connection to something bigger.
yeah, and that was how when I thought about the show of International Samba Congress last year, I want to show this. I want to show people that what it is today, but where it comes from. Because usually when we have shows like it started with the Orishas and go to Carnival. So, and in my mind, it's like, okay, you know this, but now let's go learn what came from. And I thought that all the pictures that Tyler did for the show, it's like, even if people are not there, they know what we are talking about. We can really see that. We really can see that. It's so amazing. Um, Tyler, this nonprofit,
Yep.
how it works?
Okay. We're registered as a non-profit here in Alberta, which is a Canadian province. Canada's got a federal system, very much like the United States has. And so there is a provision within the Companies Act for companies to be registered as non-profits. It's a little bit different. I'll try and keep it simple for your translation. It's different to a charity. It's different to a foundation. It's different to a trust in that it provides us with an opportunity to do a broad range of things. One, we can do the non-profit activity. Two,
Okay.
we can do commercial work, commission work to support the non-profit. The other thing we can do is that we can license images.
Okay.
And let's just use this example. Let's imagine that United Airlines, for example, wish to use some of the Samba pictures to advertise their daily flights from Houston or Los Angeles to Rio and Sao Paulo. We can license those images. We can enter into a commercial agreement, and we can use the proceeds of that agreement to further the non-profit, or in fact to directly support the artists who are in the images. So
Wow.
it's a unique provision within our Companies Act here in Alberta that's a perfect fit for what we're trying to achieve.
It's just that when we started, of course, COVID hit. So that has, but the idea is we basically at the moment that we cannot really travel, we just are interacting more with the artists here in Alberta. And basically what we do is when we meet someone that, looks interesting, that the art they do, the first thing I do, is to look in the Instagram. And most of the time they have no images of quality.
No.
We're talking about high quality images. And so
Uh-huh.
basically we approach them and discuss whether they would like to collaborate, and then we will give them the images basically free of charge, and we discuss the concept, and that's basically how the nonprofit works.
And when we say images of quality, we're not necessarily talking about the technical image, because with modern cameras, I mean, even if, you know, everyone's got a phone. What we're really more saying is, do you have access to images that tell your story?
How you want to position as an artist. It's really important. Many artists use for posters candid images that someone took at an event. They are not necessarily bad images, but that's not how you want to position yourself. Like, students need to connect. Like, now that every artist is trying to do online, for example, you know, there is so many possibilities. How are you going to connect with the students? What are you trying to say with the image? The images you have of the Malandro are very, very specific, very clear.
Yes.
You mean
and
this?
And it's very interesting, because do you remember when we are doing the pictures in Brazil?
Oh,
That
yes.
we are Lapa and the dress, and people come to talk to us thinking that we are Zeppelindra, that we are doing the,
and
you know?
Yeah, and that was eye-opening for me. The way that the people responded to the Malandro character.
Yes.
And you know, it gave me an understanding of how that is perceived, you know, and particularly being in Lapa, you know, couldn't help but be inspired.
Yeah.
Those pictures are so amazing. And, you know, and I think like a lot of even my students and people that were there, they have no idea, you know, that would be open for them too. They thought that was just for me at the first. I'm like, he's offering to everybody. It's not, you know. So
well, it gave us an opportunity to explore the character a little bit. Remember, we had the pictures with Ambrahu and Nicolea, and doing deals, and we tried to bring all these different facets of the Malandro character. And then subsequently, when we did the pictures with Pablo, we shot him in amongst people downtown at lunchtime, business people, suggesting that there was a certain scent of the scoundrel in the way that business is conducted, and that he was the spirit of the scoundrel permeating his way through the way that business is done and the way that commerce is done.
Wow.
And then we did something slightly different with Mariposa, where we portrayed her as that character taking over Lapa. And, you know, I felt empowered by you, certainly, to be able to go out and explore that character. I never felt that, and this is a real tribute to you, Anna, that you never were dogmatic about it. You were very supportive of the way that we could explore the multifacets of this character, how it relates to people today.
Yeah. So, gente, olha só, a gente está conversando aqui a respeito de como é interessante que eles abriram uma agência de sem fundos lucrativos, sem fins lucrativos, desculpa. E exatamente, sabe, é porque lá no Canadá tem todas as possibilidades, né, dessa agência de fazer trabalhos locais, de também viajar, mas assim, que tudo que eles consigam fazer através dessas imagens não só ajuda a agência, mas que também pode ajudar o artista, do qual eles estão fazendo esse apoio. Então, assim, não é uma agência de fins lucrativos, é uma agência que não é de fins lucrativos e que, sabe, a Cacília, ela tem uma visão muito ampla. Então, ela vê os artistas, e como ela agora não pode mais viajar, né, a gente não está podendo sair daqui, ela comunica com o artista e ela vai no Instagram e ela vê, às vezes, que a pessoa, o artista, não tem uma imagem que represente realmente aquela arte e o artista. Então, eles oferecem, né? Eles falam aí, vocês querem colaborar, a gente passa as fotos para vocês, é tudo de graça. E aí, as imagens são, assim, uma coisa, sabe, maravilhosa. Tyler, do you receive a lot of, like requests to do weddings pictures and birthday pictures?
Or cats?
Some, but I think we've been pretty clear in defining what our niche is.
Okay.
Sometimes people say, "Why don't you?" Well, that's not the brief of the nonprofit. There's a bunch of really, really good, commercial people out there who do that work. Go hire one of them to shoot your wedding. That's not really our thing.
But Anna, I will say this to you. At the moment, obviously no, but he always gets a lot of requests to do events, like cultural events, because his candid images are really amazing. And that's not really also his focus. So he really does that for International Samba Congress and other selected, partnerships that we have in place. Even though I think he's amazing doing the events, he doesn't really do them. It's much more about the storytelling, the one-on-one.
Yes, that's amazing. And I feel privileged and honored that you choose me. Because I never really had any picture, but now, I like, let's do it. Tyler, that good. So now one picture that everybody talks about, it's the picture of the show that you cannot see my face. Just, that picture, everybody's like, how he made that, That was so beautiful. So, Cecilia, but also you're very involved with the Cuban culture. Talk more about this.
Yes. Here in Edmonton, first of all, obviously, I was introduced to Samba Edmonton to the Afro-Brazilian, which I really love. It's something that I just love, that type of dance that is very grounded, and so then I decided to also expand to Afro-Cuban, and I also fell in love with the Afro-Cuban, and here I have almost now like a brother, an artist, Leo Gonzalez, and he's an amazing, amazing artist, and so little by little as well, I got more involved, and I will say this as well, when I retire, I will probably focus on project management for artists, because I think artists need photography, but also project management support. And so I got more involved, and the collaboration is really amazing to explore, when people are really connected to the roots of their art, is something really beautiful. So I'm really happy to also be part of Cuban movements here. And the next time we go to International Samba Congress, we're gonna bring Leo and do some kind of.
Yes, that'll be amazing. And you're just involved with the opening of a studio over there, yeah? A Cuban.
Yes, with the Cuban movements, Leo, even in the middle of COVID, he decided that he really wanted to have his own space, and we have been able to support that. And I'm kind of somehow the project manager of the studio. And it's going very well. Obviously with the COVID, you have to be very.
Yes.
But we are really, I'm really pleased to be part of a studio that is also honoring the roots, the African roots of Cuban dance. And we have a drumming workshops, Orisha music. Like, there is a commitment and a respect. And that was also the case with Samba Edmonton and Amanda and Jenny Ferreira as well. And for me, I don't really invest on organizations that don't respect their roots. Like, it's really important to me. I admire International Samba Congress, Cuban movements, everyone that, has a connection to where we're coming from.
That's amazing. But Tyler, I know also that you have another gift. The cooking. You're a chef.
Oh, gosh,
you introduced me to lamb.
I'm struggling to think what on earth you might be talking about.
It's the cooking, yes.
No. The first time I ate lamb was with you. Because I never, all the time I'm like, no, thank you. No, thank you. But that lamb, now I eat lamb at my house because of you. So.
Of course. Yeah, you have to. my mother's 5 foot tall, my father's 5'9". You know, I had to get to my side by eating well.
No, but he learned. He's an artist with the cooking too. So,
He is. He is. He is.
but
Because,
you
oh
should
my
see all
God.
you should see all the cleaning I have to do after. But he's like a real chef, and then the kitchen is, but it's worth it. So
Well, you have to do something, Cecilia. You cannot
I have
just
to
be
do
there and
something.
get all the.
But I wanted to say, Anna, for me, in the collaboration of the two of you, one of the most special images is when we went to Casa de Jongo and you did the picture with your
Oh,
father.
Oh,
Remember?
yes.
And he was teaching you to play the pandero.
Yes,
Yeah,
the one
that
where
you-
he's sitting and you're sitting at his feet
This
as
is
the
beautiful.
as the student.
yes,
That was
and
so special.
everybody comments on that picture. Everybody makes very beautiful comment in that picture.
Then the
Yeah.
other one that is one of my favorites, I know it's bad to say favorites, but oh well. The ones that we did with Preta and her two daughters.
Oh yes, yes,
And the
yes.
Camino de Jesus studio. And I mean, Tyler's idea for that was like, to do inspired by the Madonnas of the Renaissance, but she was the Madonna for us with her two children. And I
Wow,
love those
that's
images.
amazing. That's amazing. But guys, I think one of the first picture that I saw that touched me a lot, I think was a yoga teacher.
Probably
Is
with
it
the yoga healing
the
project.
yoga healing?
Yeah.
We did that.
Also a woman that was with like the image of a woman that I don't know if she has a breast cancer or something that was. Do you remember
No,
that?
she had a problem with her stomach, and then she has this what is that bag that
Oh, yeah, that was as a result of a surgery that went wrong. This lady was a yogi, everything else. She had a surgery that went wrong, and we photographed her with the tape on the wound.
Yes.
and the bag.
Photographing her to look very much like a broken doll.
Yes, and we met her. She also connected to us. We were doing the yoga healing, and she reached out to us, and we went there, and we didn't even have time to get to meet her. But that was healing for her to do this image. So we just go there to that other city, Calgary, say hello, and those were the pictures. And she wanted to tell her story, and those images are very powerful. Yes,
I
and then
think
of course.
yeah, that those pictures for me, I was like, oh my God, I want to do something.
And
Yeah.
then the ones of Rosangela that she has
Oh yes, with all that things from the tree.
we were
Seems
in
like
Rio de
she's a part of
Janeiro.
the tree.
Exactly.
In the park downtown.
We were in the park downtown in Rio de Janeiro, and somehow those pictures look timeless. She also was quite inspiring. We went there, and she really, I think they show the essence because she's one with nature in those images.
Mm-hmm.
And this was, basically you don't direct Rosangela Silvestre. We were there collaborating, and she will go and do whatever she does, and she was connected. That image really captures she being one with nature.
Yes, and I have to tell you, Rosangela is so introspective. She's so like and those pictures show really the root. I think that Rosangela brings this essence of root, and the essence of a deep, deep, deep thoughts, deep, deep, deep feelings, and I feel like that totally, show that.
Yeah,
So-
it didn't take a lot of directing. Our role really was just for me to figure out where I was adding and subtracting light to tell the story that she was telling.
Yes.
It really a lot. There was no direction in terms of the storytelling on my part. It was only I see what she's saying. How do I add or subtract light to be able to make the picture consistent with what she's telling us?
And next time we want to go to Bahia. We haven't been to Bahia.
Oh wow!
We have to
Well, I
go.
want to go with you guys because
Yes,
oh
well,
my
let's
God,
go.
that's
Let's
so
go in Barcelona Summer
beautiful.
Congress. Bahia edition.
Yes, yes, that's so beautiful. Actually, you say something that we are trying to do something over there. We are trying to do the International Samba Congress over there, but with all this COVID and everything was,
Yeah,
you
that was
know.
special.
Gente, olha, a gente está falando aqui também que o Tyler, ele não tem só esse presente divino, né, de tirar fotos, ele também cozinha muito bem. Quando eu fui na casa deles, foi a primeira vez que ele fez uma costela de carneiro, e eu falei, eu não como carneiro, mas aí, gente, eu não parei de comer, e aí agora eu como carneiro em casa por causa dele, sabe? Então é muito gostoso estar na casa deles, eles são bem assim receptivos. E a Cecília falou que depois ela tem que ficar limpando tudo, porque ele é um chefe mesmo, ele faz tudo, mas ela que limpa. Mas ela tem que fazer alguma coisa, né, gente? Ela tem que realmente colaborar aí, né? E não só isso, eu falei assim, sabe, que as imagens, como eu estou repetindo aqui várias vezes, as imagens dele realmente assim são bem profundas. E a primeira imagem que eu vi foi de uma professora de yoga que tinha uma operação, e foi uma imagem que eu fiquei apaixonada. E a Cecília comentou que também, quando nós fomos no Jongo da Serrinha, aquelas imagens, né, que a gente até fez um livretinho para o International Samba Congress, eu e meu pai, eu sentada no chão, meu pai me ensinando. Então, aquela imagem, realmente, todo mundo comenta muito, 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 muito. A outra coisa que a gente estava comentando também, o fato que a Cecília é muito envolvida também com a cultura cubana, e que ela acabou de ajudar o professor dela de Cuba, o Léo, né, a abrir um estúdio lá no Canadá. Então, ela passou a ser a gerente desse estúdio, sabe, assim, ela não é só essa energia, não é só para a gente, não, gente, é uma energia para todo mundo, e a gente super acredita que é porque eles são pessoas também que são pessoas de verdade, são pessoas assim que realmente sabe, a gente quer ver. E uma outra foto que é super interessante deles é a foto da professora Rosângela, né, que está dentro de uma árvore, aquela coisa, raízes da árvore caindo, e a Rosângela é muito raiz, né? A Rosângela é muito essa coisa bem profunda. Então, aquela foto ali foi uma coisa maravilhosa, que realmente retrata, e o Tyler sempre fala isso, né? Ele quer falar história, ele quer realmente contar uma história e quer contar uma história que esteja ligada com quem ele está fotografando. Não é a história dele, é a história da pessoa. Então é muito lindo. E aí, so any future project?
The flamenco one is an interesting one.
Yeah, the flamenco one is interesting. We're collaborating with a flamenco dancer in Calgary who's doing a project called City of Sands. And we've done some pictures down in the Badlands, which is an area with hoodoos and all sorts of interesting eroded landscape features. We also did some stuff around some concrete structures, sort of suggesting, a more permanent containment of the sand rather than the more natural environment. We'll probably in the spring or next summer do some stuff in amongst some sand dunes. It's a really interesting concept that she's developing. And what she's going to do is she's going to take the images and put them into this evolving animated sort of graphical art where the pictures will move and evolve, almost like moving sands of their own.
We're also going, not as a big project, but we are also going to do this after this talk. We are having a photo shoot with a hip hop artist here in Edmonton, Tato. He's very, very talented and has no pictures, which is mind-boggling because he's amazing. And then we are also looking forward we're going to do our first kind of collaboration with a contemporary dancer, although Rosangela is a bit of it, but like a true contemporary dancer, and he's also from Cuba. And I think that's also very important to me because, ballet and contemporary dance is a little bit, on the white side, if you wish. So I'm really excited to see what Tyler can do with Rydell and really position a dancer of African heritage in a contemporary, community here.
Mhm.
And look, we have a piece of Brazil here.
Oh, that's so
It's from
beautiful.
our first trip to Rio. We bought it
Oh,
in
wow, that's amazing. Tyler, what do you think if in the next International Samba Congress in person, we have all your pictures as an exposition, like no exhibit there?
We could.
It's like,
Darling, you have to be more enthusiastic. That would be amazing.
We could. What my only caveat was, I wouldn't want that to take away from whatever your key messaging is for the Congress, though. So remember that we've taken these pictures that have told stories of what our intention is for the Congress. We'd have to make sure that they're not a distraction and a
I think it's a great idea, Anna.
But I mean, yeah.
we could do on Thursday and the opening for the International Samba Congress.
Yes, we could.
Yes, we could. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I
What do
think
you
it would
think?
be
Because well,
If the project
next
manager
year.
said we could, then we could.
next year will be our 5th year, so it'll be very interesting to see it.
Yes.
All this,
Yes.
What do you think?
I
We
think
can
that would
talk
be
about.
a retrospective.
Yeah, the 50 year, and after all this craziness of 2020,
Exactly.
come here something that we show history.
Yes. But people should not forget, though, that next weekend is the International Samba Congress.
Yeah, this week, yes. Yeah, but it's online. It's online. So, but I think like when we go back to in person, it would be very beautiful, get together, because everybody's going to be so. We are talking that maybe we're going to be celebrating the 100 years of Dona Ivone Lara. That's a very, as a composer that she passed away, I think 2 years ago. And but next year would be her 100th birthday.
Wow.
So I'm talking to her grandchild. Yeah, grandson, and he's really willing to us to do something at the International Samba Congress. So for sure, Jongo da Serrinha will be back because she's from that, So we're gonna be doing so many things, and I think like if Tyler pictures, images, you would be there, it would be amazing. It would be like,
yeah, I would love to help that way. Yeah.
Yes. We're doing it.
That was easy. Yeah.
that was it.
I wanted to say another thing that we want to do that COVID hasn't allowed yet, but that we want to do is we want to do photography. Another project we would like to do is with the Filos do Samba.
Yes.
We want to do that, but we couldn't go to Brazil. But we want to help tell the story of that project as well. I know there are photography, but we would like to do special.
Yes. And I would support that too, because they are amazing. They are so cute. And the work is really amazing.
Yeah.
So, gente, eu pedi ao Tyler que o ano que vem, quando a gente fizer o 5º ano do International Samba Congress, para fazer uma exibição dele. Né? Todas as fotos do International Samba Congress, algumas fotos, e ele falou que ele só tem medo de tirar a atenção do Congresso, né? De desviar a atenção, e eu falei, não, a gente faz na quinta-feira, na abertura, que aí todo mundo pode ver uma história, porque vai ser o nosso 5º ano, então pode ver uma história. Então ele concordou com a gente, ele aceitou, então vai ser uma coisa maravilhosa que a gente possa fazer e que a gente possa realmente criar, sabe, essa imagem, né, maravilhosa do International Samba Congress. Uma outra coisa também que eu perguntei se eles têm um projeto do futuro, eles estão fazendo umas fotos com flamenco, eu vi as fotos, são maravilhosas, e assim, que realmente está contando a história, e tem outras, né, que assim que eles já terminarem essa live aqui, eles estão indo para fazer uma live com um artista de hip hop, que não tem também nenhuma foto, e que é muito talentoso. Então, eles estão sempre, gente, abertos para fazer isso. Eles já fizeram foto da Kelly Rosa, eles já fizeram fotos Como é que é o nome?
Preta Nascimento,
Preta
Pablo,
Nascimento,
Mayome,
Pablo, Mayombe, eu, o meu grupo Malandro Emotion. Hã?
Irineu,
Irineu, que foi difícil, lembra? Que de Irineu, para a gente tirar uma foto dele, a gente teve que sofrer.
Carlino Salguero.
Carlinhos do Salgueiro.
That were very interesting pictures as well. Like they were in the beach and nothing, wearing nothing,
Yes.
very like the essence. Yes.
Yes. A gente, there are other people that you guys made it, no?
Huh?
Other people too. Carlinhos do Salgueiro. We have much more.
Gil Costa.
Nagodê, over here.
Yeah,
Gil
Nagodé,
Costa,
Gil
Nagodé.
Costa, Ashley,
Ashley.
Ty Rodriguez.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I forgot the name of the amazing drummer. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad.
Pitoco?
No. He lives in New Orleans. Marcio.
Oh, Marcio. Yes. Marcio.
We did some pictures, of course, with Amanda, Pablo Guerrero. I'm forgetting.
Henny.
Henny.
Yes. Yeah. Wow.
There's never enough time. Rosangela, like Teresa. Oh, Teresa, our favorite.
Yes,
Teresa.
Yes.
Teresa
Acevedo.
with her. She's so creative, and yeah, Teresina in Santa Teresa, it was so much fun.
Yes. So,
and of course Ana and Rahu and Nicolea, who is participating in the Malandro contest this year. So
Carla Moreno, no?
Yeah, Carla Moreno. Yeah.
Carla Moreno, yeah. So, todos esses artistas, gente, que a gente está mencionando aqui, já tiveram fotos deles e são, assim, fotos maravilhosas que a gente pode usar. Eu uso, todas as minhas fotos que eu uso é do Tyler, né? Então, assim...
I also did Eric Celestino.
Oh, Eric Celestino e Cláudia Simas, né?
Yeah.
Isso. Wow.
And with
So, Tyler, do you see in the future you teaching this for kids or young people, or putting this like in a more formal educational way or something, or no?
I'm not sure. I mean, I suppose I shoot technically, in that I shoot with a camera on manual. I do everything with a light meter, just like a DP would do on a movie set. That part you can teach, but I don't know if you can necessarily teach the curiosity, or you can't teach a way of approaching and figuring out something about something that somebody says, which epitomizes them, or something else. And I wouldn't want to. I don't know if I'd want to pretend that we could.
There is a book that Tyler really likes. It's called The Soul of the Camera. And the soul of the camera is really that soul connection. So that cannot be taught.
Yeah. I mean, you could teach people,
technique.
Technique. You can teach them about understanding
the light,
how light interacts. But it's not paint by numbers. In other words, you're not going to say, well, we're going to have this lighting ratio and this is what I use. You think about how all of those ingredients, to use a cooking example, how they come together.
Okay.
And just because you like a certain flavor and you like another flavor doesn't mean you want to put those flavors together.
Together. Yes.
And Tyler sees the picture like it's the same way when there is music, and I go to your class and you start to dance. You just start to dance. It comes to you. I think when I see him, the way he sees through the lens comes to him. Like,
yeah,
I don't see.
That's right. I mean, we could take a student and we could teach them the moves, and they could rote learn a dance.
Yes.
But it wouldn't look the same as if it was improvised and it was expressive and it was saying something about the way that somebody was feeling
Because
at that
you
time.
always say we have to become samba. I think Tyler becomes that, soul of the camera when he's doing pictures with artists like you.
Yeah, very much.
That's good.
This is the soul of the camera.
That's beautiful. So, guys, unfortunately, we already, I'm sorry that I'm getting late over here.
Oh, good.
But, after yesterday to put everything together, it's so crazy, everything. But this week, we're going to have International Samba Congress. I know Cecilia will be there.
Yeah.
And, I want to see a way that we can bring Tyler. Woo, Malandro. She's my love. I love her, guys. I love her. I love them. So, Tyler, you brought up an idea, you and Cecilia, about this community. And I really, all the time, I say that we cannot work alone. And I appreciate a lot to have you here, to have Cecilia and you in our lives. I totally say this, and it is true. You are changing the image of samba, okay? Because really, we don't have that concern when people take pictures. People take pictures at sometimes just with the intent of, oh, that would be a great picture, gonna be rich, I'm gonna sell to, to some places, and we don't feel this from you. We feel like, okay, I want to say that.
Thank
Ele
you.
só postava and say that is incredible mission. Yes, yes. Oh, Pilar is over here. Pilar Leto. Pilar was the woman who put me, on the international samba, on the samba life. Pilar, te amo. So we are here with Invictus. Invictus, is Rodrigo, Big Leo, Aninha, and Gustavo. They are helping us with this over here. I'm so sorry that I'm late. I was late. Also, the black girl, Moscato, the wine. This girl is Erica Duff, who is amazing, and there's a black woman doing it. Katia Ferreira is the Pilates and physical therapy and also life coach. We have Sabor da Bahia that we have ate already their food in International Samba Congress. They all the time with us. And we have also Black Coffee, that is a couple from Zimbabwe that sells a wonderful coffee over here. So with that support, we are supporting them as well. And, I'm so glad to have this time to have you guys over here. I know that both of you are so busy all the time. And I love you.
I love you.
And yes. And I see you when I see you again. And I hope that this COVID stops so I can go over there and you guys can come over here.
Exactly.
Very much.
We will be together again in person.
Yes. E outra coisa, gente, eu esqueci de dizer que eles querem fazer um projeto com os filhos do Samba Kid. Então, esse é nosso projeto deles, que eles vão fazer, tirar foto com os filhos do samba, e ela também quer ir na Bahia, e eu quero ir com eles, porque olha as fotos que vão sair daí. Ok? Então tá, gente, um beijo.
Thank you, Anna.
Cecilia, thank you, Tyler. I'm so sorry for the delay, but I love you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.